Hello friends, what's up? How's everyone doing? I am super excited to film today's video because not only is it one of my favorite authors in the whole entire world, but also I'm doing something a little different. I asked this author. I have two book friends that are huge supporters of hers as well, and then I asked for one more name of somebody that I could contact to talk about this book. So not only am I going to share with you my favorite parts, but I have their favorite parts too. I just thought it would be kind of fun, different takes on what stood out to them. So let's get to talking about today's book, which is The Third Son by Dyan Layne. I've got Bo joining us today. Dyan is so generous, and she has done several book boxes with her books. In Bo's book box was this amazing candle. If you guys could smell how it smells in here, it just, whew, the sensory gets me going. I love burning it, but I'm also really conscious of when I burn it because I don't want to run out of it. But there's a wood wick in there and it's actually crackling a little bit. Oh, it's just, I love it. So thank you again, Dyan, for sending that amazing box. You know how much I love him. Okay, let's get to talking about The Third Son. The Third Son is an unconventional love story. That's the thing that I love about Dyan's writing. She always seems to like unlock a new part of whether it's my heart or my brain, my mind. If you haven't read Dyan before, you are in for a treat. And if you have, you know the magic of her storytelling and the beauty that her words give love stories. All you have to do is open your mind and your heart, and she gives it all to you. The Third Son takes place in a fictional town called Brookside. Brookside is a different town. There's something twisty to how they live their lives. They keep themselves kind of away from the rest of the world and how they believe, what they believe, how they live. It's present day, and it's not that they don't go out in the world and like experience the world the way it is. They're cowboys. It takes place in, oh, is it Montana or Wyoming or Idaho? Shoot, it's one of those. It's just different. And if you know, you know. Arian, Tanner, and Kellen's story is not traditional in a lot of ways. So I wanted to see if Dyan could make me believe it. If she could really make me believe that this works. And she did. Right away, the epigraph in the beginning of the book is a quote by Henry David Thoreau. It sums up her stories, in particular this book, absolutely perfectly. The quote is, "There's no remedy for love but to love more." I love that, and it really set the stage for Arian, Tanner, and Kellen's story. Arian moves with her mom to Brookside. Arian's 17, about to be 18. She's a senior in high school. She's not happy that she has to move. It's always just been Arian and her mom. So the fact that they're going to have this newfound family with her stepdad and Tanner and Kellen, she's really happy about. This is how she describes her new stepbrothers. I should mention real quick that Dyan does write in third person, but there's something the way she writes and how poetic her words are that my brain just kind of clicks in with it. We do get the point of view from each of the characters though. We get the point of view of Arian, Tanner, and Kellen really well. This is from Arian's point of view talking about them. Okay, Kellen could be a prick sometimes. That boy ran hot and cold. So darn confusing. One moment he'd be glaring at her all steely and sullen. Then the next, especially if he thought she wasn't looking, it was something else entirely. His dark eyes would grow darker, features softening as he studied her. And Tanner, he was wrong. Tough guy exterior with his bulging biceps and a sleeve of tattoos, that boy was 6 feet of beautiful sweetness. gentle bear hugs and forehead kisses. He was her new best friend. Tanner was really easy to like. He's just that amazing guy. Kellen took me a bit. I was a little frustrated with him, but oh my God, woo, he really won me over. I ended up loving him. So here's the part where I'm just gonna kind of skim over the rest of the story because I don't want to give too much away. But it gets to the point where it's like a make or break moment for Arian, and a friend of theirs has like a tough talk with her. It really pulled at my heartstrings. She wanted so bad to fit in with her new family, her stepdad, her new stepbrothers, the community that they live in. But she's like, she keeps talking about, it made me laugh, the mumbo jumbo. They're trying to tell her how they live and want her to accept it. And she's like, but, and they're like, but what? So this is that conversation she has. Arian, he wrapped his arms around her. You love them and they love you. That's it. It simply exists. Forget everything else. The only thing that matters is what you feel. What's in your head can F you up, but your heart can't lie. Throughout so much of the book, I felt Arian's yearning to find her home, whether that be romantically, physically, the environment she's in, and then to be loved. And it's right there for her. She just has to open her mind to it. Dyan's books are all heart, true love stories that happen to be very steamy. There are things I read in this book that I've not read before. And I was like, whoa! So I just sat there blushing and fanning myself. When I was preparing for the video, I thought it would be kind of fun to get some other perspectives. So I reached out to fellow readers of Dyan's, and they were gracious enough to share with me some of their favorite quotes and parts to the book. Keep in mind, when I talk about these, if you haven't read the book yet, you might get spoilers. It's never my intention. And I will leave out maybe certain words or maybe not include the whole quote if I feel like it is a little bit of a spoiler. I'm going to put everybody's social media accounts below, whether it's a blog or an Instagram or stuff like that. These women are all active members of the romance book loving community, so I encourage you to go ahead and follow them on their social media links below. First off, we have Cece. I adore her. She is a shining light in this book community. This is what she shared with me about the third son. All the stars in the sky for Arian, Kellen, and Tanner. Dyan shows us love in all ways and reminds us to give into our hearts. Taking chances can bring happiness in the most unexpected ways, which this story sure showed. Dyan has forever changed cowboys for me and has me wishing for my own, no kidding. The first quote she shared is, "See, baby, this is how it works. All of you was made for both of us, and you belong right here. No one will ever come close to loving you like we do." And then she put, "Yes, Dyan knows how to make me blush every shade of red. Same." Next was the Starlight Picnic. The Starlight Picnic is unforgettable and had me all heart eyes. Seeing the way those cowboys love her, bringing all the feels with every page turn. Agree. And then here are some more quotes. Absolute love, passion, that's where you'll find joy. Settling for less will never feel right. Loving someone isn't an accident, it's a choice. You don't fall, you choose it. And she says, one of my favorite lines she's ever written. Totally agree. And maybe that's what love is, a total contradiction that somehow balances out. Yep. This land had seeped into her skin as much as her cowboys had stolen her heart and branded their names upon her soul. Everything and everyone she loved was here. Oh, It's that dreams, like plans, can change. Very true. Kellen and Tanner were her heart, and with them she was home. Ooh, that one got me teary. And then she wrote, honorable mention, a Graham's quote, life has a way. Oh, Graham. Next up we have Melinda. Her IG is Queen Melinda. And this is what she shared with me about her favorite parts. The quote is, "Good for you, honey. Don't ever lose sight of your dreams. When I was your age, I dreamt of being a teacher and having a family of my own. All my dreams came true. The Brooks men here made sure of it. They understood how important it was to me." And Melinda writes, "I think Arian was so worried about losing herself and her dreams that she held back. Worried their dreams would be more important than she was. But Graham's, I think she was highly intelligent." There we go with Graham's again. I mean, look at her name, right? Graham's statement was a solid statement of proof for her mind and her heart that she mattered. She could have it all. It eased the way for Arian. Totally agree. The next quote she shared is, "Our customs, how we live, the reason we prosper goes all the way back to when Brookside was founded. I think you've already figured out we don't do things the same here." He paused. I'm going to leave part of it out because I feel like it gives away a lot of the book. So I'm just going to read part of it, and I think that Melinda will understand why I leave part of it out. "There's a universal power in three. The nature of the world is a trip." Oh, Lord, Dyan, what is this word you gave us? Tripartite. Tripartite? Oh, I can't say it. "Heavens, waters, and earth." Taking her hand, Jake got down on his hunches in front of her. "As are human beings, mind, body, and spirit. The triad as a whole, you see. It all is. Everything. The beginning, middle, and end." Do you see where her words are just so poetic? Except for the one I couldn't pronounce. And this is what Melinda says about that quote. "It was a valid and insightful explanation of the Brooks way of life. It was the norm in Arian's mind, but she was learning to see with her heart. And every explanation of three had validity. She and her cowboys just made sense. I could feel the hesitation leaving her at this point. 100% agree." The next quote Melinda shared is, "See, I know you haven't been schooled in our ways, so you don't know any better. If you had been, you'd understand. Brooks men love and worship their women above all else." Yes, they do. And this is what Melinda says. This quote made me think about how true it is that we just accept how things are around us, just because it is what it is. We don't always question things we don't understand, just pass judgment without truly knowing why. Arian didn't fully understand at that moment, yet she could see in her heart and with her eyes that this statement was true. She allowed herself to hope. Oh, so well said, Melinda. Her next quote is, "You love them and they love you. That's it. It simply exists. Forget everything else. The only thing that matters is what you feel. What's in your head can F you up, but your heart can't lie." We thought the same thing. And Melinda says, "Their love simply existed. No right, no wrong, no judgment. We tend to overthink things, but our heart doesn't lie. I just kept thinking what an amazing world to live in, where love, true love, no matter how that love was encompassed, would be allowed to flourish." Yes, Dyan has a way of making this type of world seem possible. Totally agree. See, I said that before. It's true. You just have to open your mind. She just has a way of unlocking traditions in our heads and everything Melinda just said. And yet our hearts expand after we read one of her books. And the last quote she shared was, "Most of us are lucky to find one true love in this lifetime. So if you've been fortunate as to have found two, then I'd say you're very blessed indeed." And Melinda says, "Finding the love of your life, or that once-in-a-lifetime love, something we all strive for. Not easy. But if Arian had truly found two loves, two true loves, how could she not feel that their union was blessed and meant to be? Kellen and Tanner were simply extensions of who she was." And then I'm going to put up a picture that she shared with me, which I loved. And she goes on to say, "Everything was absolutely unconventional, but with the whole community, it was a love held sacred and with high regard. Those three made each other perfect and complete." And then this was some really beautiful words that she talked about with Dyan. And it made me a little teary, I'll be honest. Melinda has a way with words. And I loved what she said. I have absolute love and respect for Dyan as both a profound author and person. Her words are my escape from the crazy world we live in. She fills my book heart with joy, and she is such a genuine and generous lady. I've been a fan since her first release, Serenity, and can't wait to see where she'll take me next. I just know I'd follow her anywhere. Oh my God, so sweet. So sweet. And I feel exactly the same way that you do, Melinda. And last but certainly not least, we have Jennifer with Jen's Book Cubby. Again, her information will be below. And she's so funny. I think we all had the same problem, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a little different video and give you guys other perspectives. Because although, yes, we are all readers of Dyan, what draws us to her could be the same and yet slightly different. I always have trouble narrowing down because I could talk forever about her books. And I loved when I read through Cece, Melinda, and Jennifer's stuff that they sent me, that they had the same trouble that I did. So Jennifer says, this is one of my absolute favorite quotes from this book. One of the things that pulls on my heartstrings the most is that Matthew, Tanner, and Kellen give Arian the most precious gift in life, a family. Oh, I love this quote because Kellen is letting Arian know that whether she accepts them and their ways, they will always be family to each other. The quote is, whether you accept our ways or not, we are your home and you're ours. Yep. The next one is, I love this part. It shows the love that Arian has to give. The last part of it is also one of my favorite quotes in the book. Being on the ranch with her newfound family will heal her body and soul. This is the quote. When Arian wasn't fussing over their brother, he'd be sure to find her with Daisy, rubbing her down, braiding her mane, taking her out for a long ride. That's her horse that they give her. One afternoon, he even found her weaving crowns of wildflowers for the dang cows while the palomino grazed on the grass at her side. Kellen understood, though. A horse can heal even the most broken soul, while he and Tanner would mend her broken heart. Oh, yes. And this is what she says about the next scene she shared. I love the scene where Matthew is talking to Arian, explaining his dream and begging her to stay. She feels betrayed and that she has been duped. She doesn't believe the things he's saying, but she is fighting with herself because she loves Tanner and Kellen and wants to stay and be with them. So Matthew says, my boys won't beg Arian, but I will. They love you. I love you, Matthew professed, his green eyes boring into hers. Stay here with us. Help me make things right and put an end to all this wretchedness. Oh my God, yes. I highlighted that too, Jennifer. She goes on, I also love the funeral scenes, how emotionally charged it is, how Arian is doubting her strength and falling apart emotionally. Oh my God, no kidding. How great are the guys with her, so supportive, reassuring, and loving. It's perfect. And here's that part where they're showing her that. I can't do this. Hyperventilating, she grabbed onto his forearm with both hands. Take me home. Baby, stepping in front of her, he shielded her from the onlookers with his body. Oh my God, yes. Her blonde hair blowing in the mild June breeze. Tanner tucked it behind her ear. We've got you, pretty girl. No. Closing her eyes, she shook her head. You don't understand. As long as I don't see lying in a box, it isn't real. Ugh. Arian, look at me. Kellen gently lifted her chin. You don't have to look, but you need to say goodbye. Tears erupting, she squeaked. I'm going to leave some things out so you don't know and I don't give a spoiler. And she goes on to say, I don't even know how to exist. You keep on doing what you're doing, baby, he replied, kissing her forehead. Was so damn proud of you. Swiping beneath her eyes, Arian nodded. Look at us all. And she goes on to talk about something else. And she says, I keep thinking we'll never know her. And I can't remember which brother it was, but they said, yes, he will. And he pulled her against his chest. He has you. Oh my God. I was a mess. I was a mess. So I loved seeing that so many of the things that I highlighted, by the way, I had 168, was it 168 highlights in this book? But I love that there were so many parts that the four of us all not only highlighted and were moved by, we saw and felt the same way when we read those things. Thank you so much to Cece, Melinda, and Jennifer for sharing those with me. Oh, I just loved reading them. Let me know if you have read The Third Son or any of Dyan's other books. You know I always love to hear, and I am so freaking excited. Less than a month, I get to meet Dyan in person. I am going to another book signing, which is Wild and Windy. It's here in Chicago, and I get to meet her. I am absolutely thrilled to be able to meet one of my favorite authors who's not only an amazing writer who moves my heart the way she does, but she's an amazing person too. To be able to give her a hug in person to say thank you, like, you know, to her face, it's so meaningful as a reader to be able to do that. So now we gotta buckle up, because now I gotta wait for a little while to read another book of Dyan's. But it's gonna be a Red Door book. We're gonna go back to the Red Door world. Oh, I wanna live there. I love the Red Door world. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you real soon. Bye.